What's going on YouTube? JT's Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in today's video, we'll be talking about Nightwing issue number 83. This one's written by Tom Taylor with art by Bruno Redondo. This one picks up right after the events of the previous issue, where we had Dick Grayson learning the origins of Melinda Zuko and how she is his half-sister. This picks up right after that, and we get the arrival of Blockbuster. We learn that Melinda Zuko is kind of somebody who goes a bit undercover and takes down mob bosses and all that. So that's what she says she's doing. I mean, we're gonna have to wait and see if she's really honest or not. But she knows who Dick is, and Dick goes ahead and we'll quickly summarize the issue. But I quite like this thing. This is kind of the conclusion to the first story arc of Tom Taylor's Nightwing run, because right after this, it's going to lead straight into Fear State, which, if you watch my solicitations video, you know Fear State's going to go basically from September to like November. So it's going to be a 2-month kind of event with so many freaking Batman-related titles tying into that event. But this was a really, really solid issue and a good conclusion to the first story arc. Definitely more character focused than story focused, but I think that's what I really like about what Tom Taylor's been doing with the Nightwing book. Yes, I like some story progression too, but I like a lot of the down-to-earth kind of moments between the characters. That's really what keeps me coming back to wanting to read about certain characters. It's kind of a thing with like different mangas and like anime TV series or really any series in general. What keeps you coming back? I mean, there's engaging story is definitely an important thing, but like you kind of really come for the characters themselves. If you don't like the characters as good as the story is, you're not going to want to come back. And like this first arc definitely showcases why I really like these characters. And I think it's a nice, warm, very comfortable, cozy feeling first story arc for like Taylor's Nightwing book. I mean, from the arts to the interactions to like showcasing why Dick Grayson is such a really great hero. And like also you get kind of different cameos from different heroes and stuff. So I quite like this a lot. So yes, he goes in, he confronts Blockbuster, who is in direct opposition to what he plans to do. So he goes in, he takes out this helicopter with all these different villains. He gets taken home. Like Tim and Barbara definitely like help him straight into bed. There's some nice little bits of funny banter. He wakes up. Barbara's right there, immediately ready with his coffee because she knew like he was ready to go. He's like, okay, you slept for 2 days. Like what? I slept for 2 days. He's like, okay, well, she's like, don't worry, Tim's been doing some patrol work, and you go ahead and decide to do what you're gonna do because now he's got all this money. So he's got a big plan here. So again, we get a moment between him and Leslie, we get him with the Titans, and we get moments between him and Lucius Fox, and then we have a really great conversation between Dick and Superman and nice bits of continuity kind of thrown in there too, where he talks about how Superman gave him the name Nightwing. And like how Dick looks up to Superman and how Superman views Dick Grayson himself as an inspiration. Like these two are kind of the heart of like DC right here. Like they're like two of the most looked up to heroes in all of like the DC pantheon. I mean, Wonder Woman's up there too, but like Dick Grayson and Superman in particular, like when a character is like feeling down or needs somebody to look to for advice, you go to either Superman or you go to Dick Grayson because they always seem to kind of have like the answers, or like there's always something really good and wholesome about those two heroes that we all kind of look up to them. So we get this nice conversation here about like what he plans to do. We don't actually see it just yet, and Superman's actually like, oh, that's really great. Also, since he's going to have to go away for a while, it would be really great if you give some advice and some guiding ship to John. And then Dick's like, of course, if you think I can help. And Superman's like, honestly, I couldn't think of a better role model. Thank you, Dick. That's a really nice conversation between the two characters, and it makes sense why Superman. And it just goes to show just how much trust and faith Superman has in Dick Grayson and what he plans to do. So again, a lot of nice character moments between them. John looking up to Dick Grayson, I think, is actually pretty cool because if you consider like say Damien's how he looks up to Dick Grayson, really all of them do. Like they showcased him looking up to Dick for sure. Barbara, how she looks kind of up to Dick in some ways to like what he does and how he looks up to her kind of. Like everybody's just kind of there like on Team Dick Grayson basically, like just to show like how kind of great of a guy he is. And then the next morning he's ready to make this big announcement. He's got all this press here. Now everybody kind of knows he's a billionaire. Babs was kind of there to like tip him off of the whole thing, and he's like, it's going to be a pretty big change for what he's going to do with all his money. And I like the moment too between him and Babs, where he's like, hey, look, before I go out there, thank you for everything. I don't know if I could have done this without you, and whatever happens next. And then she kisses him. So, yes, for you Dick Bab shippers out there you go. You get a nice little tender moment, and it feels earned too. It's not really something thrown in there at the very beginning of this arc. You had to wait kind of 6 issues for it, and it makes sense given the context and all the events that have transpired since the beginning of this arc. It's not kind of thrown out of nowhere. There's actually been a build-up. There's a foundation to it. Again, these are 2 characters who have had history before, but like the kiss in this scene definitely feels earned after the 6 issues within this story arc. So I quite liked it. I like the way that they draw these 2 characters, and it's a feel good. It makes you feel good, like the way like everything's kind of done here. And so Dick goes ahead and he makes his big announcement to the press, and he talks about how he's forming the Alfred Pennyworth Foundation. He's like, look, I don't know what to do with all my like. I know what to do with all my money. Like, I'm not really someone who's like this elaborate billionaire who just spends solely on himself. Like, I want to help the city. I want to use my money that I've retained to just be very philanthropic, like a philanthropist, and help everyone else out around me. So he's like, I'm going to try and fix up the city, giving people all these things like, better housing, better homes, better everything. So he's just used all his own money to help others. And it's a very selfless thing for him to do. So he calls it the Alfred Pennyworth Foundation. I think that was a really nice, touching moment. And then his phone blows up and he gets text messages. We have a Bat Family group chat. And I like how Steph's like, wow, Tim's like, always raising the bar. Proud of you. Nice work before you give it all away. Don't forget you owe me $20. Even Damien messages, which is kind of funny given the fact that like he's still kind of on the run from the family and things. Yeah, he kind of had this bit of a reunion in the Robin book, unless this is taking place like right after like he's kind of reunited with the family, because he shows up in the Fear State Alpha cover. We'll just have to wait and see what happens there. But if not, I just think it's also pretty funny how like in the middle of everything that's going on, he's just like still has time to message like, oh, where are you at, Damien? Oh, well, he's still kind of messaging. I don't know. I thought that was funny. I like Cass's emojis too. Maybe some of that can feel kind of fanon-ish, but I think it's a nice moment that like the Bat Family themselves have their own little group chat outside of Bruce or something. I thought that was kind of cool. And even Batman calls him kind of at the end. He's like, he didn't really talk to him beforehand, but he's like, look, thank you. This is a tremendous thing that you're doing, honoring Alfred and kind of doing all this stuff. And also, simultaneously while this is going on, we have the villain Heartless, who I guess is keeping like the hearts of his victims in a jar. How they're going to go ahead and get ready to like rip the heart from Dick Grayson. So we got that going on. We have Blockbuster and all that. But yeah, so Heartless hasn't completely been forgotten. He's just kind of been like pushed aside a little bit in the background while all this other stuff kind of goes out. So next is going to be the Fear State event. So I guess after that, we're going to kind of get back to Nightwing and Blüdhaven. But there was a good foundation here right before we led into Fear States, for things to kind of have a nice bit of momentum going forward for Dick Grayson. This is a nice reestablishing arc to see the status quo where Dick Grayson's at. Now he's really rich. We have like his relationship with the various heroes kind of building. Like him and Barbara are seemingly kind of together going on, or like kind of working towards that some more. Like there was a nice tender moment that they shared here. Not sure what's going on in Titans Academy because he was kind of sleeping with Starfire and all that. So I don't know how that all kind of ties in together. I hope it's not some really obnoxious love triangle drama. But we'll see where that goes from here. Again, I'm just focusing on entirely this book alone. I like the way it was handled here. And like how he's like an inspiration to Tim. I like how like even Superman kind of looks up to him and asks him to kind of be a guiding force to John. I like how he takes all his money and just goes to show how selfless he is. He's going to just use it for good to help those in need in the city. So all this stuff was firing on all cylinders. And I like how like what he's doing is opposed to what Blockbuster is. So it puts him completely at odds with the main villain, I guess, of the whole Nightwing thing. So I quite like that a bit. Really no major complaints about this first arc of Tom Taylor's Nightwing thing. Yeah, maybe there's some questionable things with the whole Melinda Zuko thing, but I'm still kind of like on the fence whether I think that's fully going to be like established that it's going to stay that way, or because of what's said in here where she talks about like taking down things undercover, if that's just going to be kind of pushed aside. But only time will tell. But in the meantime, I think we had a great first arc with Nightwing. I like the way Tom Taylor's doing this. I love Redondo's art. I love the colors going on here. It's definitely a very like get you back into the swing of things, make you feel very comfortable, great character moments. and pretty much everything was firing on all cylinders in this arc. So that's all I have to say about Nightwing issue 83. What did you think of it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content. I got more comic book reviews coming up along the way. Stuff that I missed last week's going to start coming out for the rest of this week. That way I'm kind of caught up till next week. It's kind of strange. Like, everything that I kind of read is just kind of crammed within the first week, and then, or like the first and last weeks in the month. Meanwhile, I get like 1 or 2, like week 2 or 3 or something. So yeah, we got that going on. But anyways, that's all I got to say. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace.